Today's episode was sponsored by Incogni. You guys probably won't believe me when I tell you this, but the other day I got visited by myself from the future. He told me he had come back in time to bring me a grave warning, and once we finished making love, he told me what that warning was. The robots are coming, he said. You need to do whatever you can to fight back. And then he left. I just left. Didn't even say goodbye. He's right though. It does feel like the robots are taking over. They're on our social media, they're in our grocery stores, and most annoyingly, they're on our phones. I am constantly being bombarded with robocalls, so to make sure that I don't let my future self down like he did to me, I fight back using Incogni. Basically, the reason that robocalls happen is data brokers. If you've ever given out your information, there's a chance that a data broker has taken it and then sold it to a bunch of companies who use it to contact you, even when you wish they wouldn't. Once you're on a data broker's list, they're required to remove you from it if you ask them to. But unfortunately, there are so many of them, and they're so hard to contact that can be very difficult to do on your own. And that's where Incogni comes in. With Incogni, all you gotta do is put in your information and sit back while they do the rest. I did it myself, and it really is that easy. Right now, Incogni is offering my viewers 60% off on an annual plan, so follow the link below and use code WILLYMUSE to start taking back your personal data today. Thanks to Incogni, I don't have to worry about robocalls anymore, meaning I can leave my phone line open for more important things. I don't even know if phones in the future can call the past, but I don't know, I miss him, you know? A couple of videos ago, I said something that really stuck with me. I should drink more when I record. And you know, a good idea is a good idea. I've decided that going forward, I'm going to occasionally pour myself a glass of wine and talk about whatever the hell I want, unencumbered by the normal anxieties that plague me when I'm fully sober. I think it might be a good way to discuss a topic honestly, because, well, I don't really have much of a filter when I've had red. It might even allow me to talk about some slightly more controversial subjects that I'd be too nervous to tackle under normal circumstances. Although I guess I did discuss Israel a couple of videos back, so yeah, I don't really know where I would go from there. In any case, I wanted to start this series off with a bang by saying maybe the dumbest thing I've ever said on here. It's something I've wanted to say for a while now, but I haven't because it's also the absolute last thing that you're supposed to say on YouTube. Well, after and 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 I'm gonna major political figure. But yeah, I'm starting to feel this bottle of Black Zinfandorf. Not sure what that is. Product of East Berlin? But yeah, whatever it is I'm putting in my body is starting to kick in, so I'm just gonna say it. This video is fine. Well, actually, I guess I can't say that for sure since I haven't actually made it yet. There is still a strong possibility that this will be terrible. I suppose there's also a chance that it will be amazing, although I sincerely doubt that. If I were a betting man, I'd put my money on this being fine. You'll watch it, maybe chuckle once or twice, and then you'll probably click onto another video that will also probably be fine. The time you spend with me here will hopefully be better than if you spent that same amount of time staring blankly at a wall, but I sincerely doubt that this is going to change your life forever. And on some level, I think that goes without saying. I don't think that any of you have clicked onto this thing thinking, like, this whiny little had better blow my mind right now. That's another one of the things you're not supposed to say on here. I should probably bleep that. I'm sorry, I curse more when I'm drunk, so. Seriously though, I think we all know what we're doing here. You're just trying to pass the time a little bit, and I'm trying to help you out with that. It's really not a secret. That said though, I sometimes feel like a big part of my job is doing everything I can to hide that from you. When I publish a video, I can never just be like, here's my video. I think you'll like it. Instead, I gotta say shit like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, or this will blow your mind, or this will alter your brain chemistry and make you want to punch your mother in the teeth. Then I gotta doll things up by adding the most evocative picture I can find and plaster over it with more words designed to incite big emotions. And then I gotta change the color of those words to yellow because I read somewhere once that that's the most eye-catching color. Not actually sure if that's true, but I do it every time, so. I have to make sure everything I put out feels like the coolest, smartest, funniest, biggest version of itself I can possibly muster. It's a lot of ests, because otherwise people might think that it's just and then they won't click on it. And honestly, that makes sense, because why would anyone settle for just Your time is precious. Even when you're just trying to pass it. At this moment, you have so many options of things you could be watching or reading or listening to, so why would you want to settle for anything but the best? I feel like it's kind of like if you're at a buffet and there's the choice between tofu, meatloaf, and lobster tails. You're going to go for the lobster tails every time. Even if you're in the mood for tofu, part of you is going to think like, well, I should get my money's worth. Actually, that might be a bad example, because I feel like lobster at a buffet would probably get you sick. I don't know, maybe in this scenario, there's like a sign that promises you that the lobster won't get you sick. No, because like, then that's suspicious. Why would they need that sign? I don't know, I'm a little buzzed. My point is that we're all naturally inclined to pick the best option that we're presented with. And while I think that's fine, it makes sense, I also think that it might be breaking our brains a little bit. Because I'm not the only one throwing ests around. There are a lot of people doing it. This is the internet after all, so trying to stand out is kind of the name of the game. I feel like if YouTube existed in the real world, it would just be like a giant room full of a bunch of old-timey newsies going like, "Hey mister, take a look at this!" But then the newsie next to you sees that you're getting attention, so he starts screaming louder and talking about the most bombastic story of the day, which then causes you to try and think of a way to one-up him. Unfortunately, you soon realize that you can't yell any louder and you don't have a more bombastic story because everyone's selling the same news, So like the street urchin that you are, you resort to yellow journalism and start making shit up just to get people to turn your way. Then you multiply this by 1,000, and what you're left with is just a bunch of little boys in stupid hats screaming and lying and, according to a movie I saw once, dancing. But because everyone is doing it, it's not really making anyone stand out anymore. It's just drowning out everyone who's not playing the game. And what makes the internet worse than this hypothetical room full of turn-of-the-century children I've imagined is that you can't leave it. Or I guess that you can, but it's really hard. For better or worse, the internet has become an integral part of our lives. And that's forced a lot of us to kind of just adjust to the noise. The nth degree has become the baseline in a way that I think has genuinely altered the way that people function. Because it's not just content creators who work like this anymore, it's everyone. There are so many people online nowadays who casually communicate in what can only be described as hyperbole. I feel like I see this a lot with comedy. It might just be because a lot of the people I follow are in comedy. People will post like a special or something and be like, Joanne Pataki is the single funniest person to ever exist, and her stand-up is gonna revolutionize everything and change the world forever. So then I watch it and no offense to Joanne Pataki, but it never really lives up to the hype. Don't get me wrong, it's often very funny, but it's never I don't know, what's something important? The Magna Carta? And here's the thing, I get why people do this. If I released a comedy special and someone shared it with the caption, "This is really good," I'd look them dead in the eye and say, what the fuck did I do to you? We expect exuberance and exaggerations, so anything less than that feels like it's not enough. And obviously, I don't want to try and police how people express themselves, so if this is how you actually feel, then by all means, call Season 2, Episode 4 of Girls 5 Eva iconic. That said, though, I do feel like some of us, myself included, need to ask ourselves if maybe it's time to tone it down a little bit. Because the sad truth is that I often find myself resenting the Joanne Patakis of the world. They become the victims of their own hype, and rather than enjoying what they made for what it is, I end up lamenting what it isn't. Ultimately, I can only feel what I feel, so when I'm being told to feel way more than that, it starts to feel like maybe there's just something wrong with me. If you see a dial that's turned up to 11, but the sounds coming out are really only at a 5, you're gonna wonder if maybe it's your ears. Particularly if that's every dial on Earth. It's hard not to wonder sometimes if everyone but you truly is experiencing these amazing highs, and because of that, what should feel like mild enjoyment starts to feel like a dull ennui. And unfortunately, things only get worse from there, because having our brains rewired so that we can only view the world in extremes goes both ways. And that means that dull ennui doesn't stay dull ennui for long. Fine eventually becomes bad, and bad eventually becomes, oh my god, I want to I know that was on my list of words I can't say on here, but there's not really a YouTube-friendly version of that one. So, and what's messed up about that is that I feel that way even though I know it's not true. The highs that people are feeling can't actually be that constant, because then they wouldn't be highs. The truly great things you'll experience in your life are few and far between. That's why they feel so special. Or at least they should. Because when special is what you've come to expect, then when the truly special comes along, it doesn't feel special. It just feels expected. And unfortunately, I don't know what to do about anything I'm saying right now. I'm certainly not going to change how I do things because I can't. I'm still a growing channel, hopefully. And this is the way the world works. So if I don't play into it, I'll just end up getting drowned out like a sad little newsie who refuses to dance. When I release my next video, I'm going to spend way too much time coming up with a big title. And then I'm going to write that title above a picture of myself doing this. And then I'm going to plaster the word problematic over that picture in yellow. But just know that when I'm doing that this is what I wish I could actually say. This video is fine. And fine is okay. But yeah, that's my video. Please like and subscribe and share and comment and whatever else you want to do. Also, do you use toilet paper? I hope you do. And I now can place affiliate links in my videos, so I figured, like, what's something everyone needs? Toilet paper. So I've linked to a place that you can buy toilet paper, and if you buy it using that link, I'll get a little money and you'll be supporting the channel. So yeah, I'm a toilet paper salesman now. Should come up with a jingle or something. Toilet paper, you use it to wipe your poo. And speaking of supporting the channel, if you want to do that in a way that doesn't involve stocking up on toilet paper from Walmart, then you can do that by subscribing to my Patreon or super thanksing me, which, speaking of, I have to super thank someone back, and that person is I Am Probably Wrong. Thank you again. Hey, yeah, that's my video. It's a little shorter. It's a little weirder. Let me know if you like it, because I like wine. So I'm happy to do this more. Yeah. Welcome back. I got a pose for my Patreon now. And I figure for this one I should include wine. Also, I kind of just want another glass. This is going to go bad if I don't drink it. Yeah, so I don't know, I guess this video is fine, so I should just make it like it's fine. Huh? I can't see. Does I have too much wine, or am I just bad at seeing? It's hard when I can't make out because what I'm doing now is like a very face. I'm gonna put this down. Is like a very face-based pose, you know. So when I can't see what my face looks like, there's like the strong possibility that I'll just do like this a bunch of times, and I'll be like, what am I gonna use for a thumbnail? Also, how's my hair look? That's nice. Yeah, I'm worried I'm a little sweatier in this video because, I don't know, I sweat when I drink. Hopefully that's normal. One of my greatest fears about being on the internet and making videos is I'm going to say something like that, and then someone's going to, like, in the comments be like, actually, that's a sign that you have feline AIDS, and I'll be like, ah! Well, I guess I don't know. That wasn't me posing. I just wanted a sip of wine. I feel like where. This video's fine. No, I'm really excited. I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm traveling tomorrow, so I gotta clean. And I don't know if you guys have ever gotten drunk and cleaned your apartment. Feels phenomenal, especially if you get really drunk and clean your apartment, and then you wake up the next morning and you're like, "Fuck, I did that." It's like a little gift you can get, like a little surprise you can give yourself. For the record, I don't do this that often. That sounded like problematic behavior, but occasionally, if I've drank, I will clean my apartment and then I'll wake up in the morning and I'm like, whoa. And cleaning your apartment is more fun when you're drunk because you're drunk. Put on some music, dance, do the dishes. Huh? No, I think that's the ticket. Do you guys like this new sweater? I don't know why I'm asking you as though you're going to respond. You're just a camera that I'm talking to. If you talk, then that's a sign that I've had too much wine. I'm going to end the video. Smooches.